One weird retirement is all it takes to turn a points finish into a meme.
I was throwing up in the car and...
A podium into disaster.
They just can't get that wheel off.
I couldn't believe, what happened then.
Or a win into tragedy.
There goes the tyre, let's go. He just misses the VAR.
Take Suzuka 2004 for example. Milky started P3 on the grid with real chances of fighting for a podium until the start.
Oh! Down they go. Good start by Jenson Button. He's right ahead of Webber already.
Right there, he lost 3 positions. But that wasn't really the ugly part, because by lap 20, something way stranger happened.
Down at Jaguar, retirement. Mark Webber is out of the Japanese Grand Prix. He's getting out, he looks in pain. They're looking again at the seat. I think you may well be right.
Out of nowhere, we see him heading back into the pits, climbing out of the car, clearly in pain. So, what went wrong? Well, due to a loose cockpit fixing, super hot air from the engine started leaking straight into the seat, and therefore, into his butt. Still, this wasn't even his worst body-related retirement, not even outside Japan, because one day before the race at Fuji in 2007, my guy was already doomed. And I'm not talking about fear of torrential rain, I'm talking about food poisoning.
Going to retirement. Vomiting, vomiting, I gotta drive.
And even then, what made Mark's case different was that this still didn't end his race. His resilience kept him going, right up until a wild Seb hit him from behind.
Vettel stopped.
Oh, Webber's off.
Webber's off into the wall. I can't believe it. Oh, Vettel has been hit.
He's been hit by Vettel. Big time. Vettel is out as well.
And yep, that's where the effort finally ended. And with that, Webber takes us to the streets of Singapore. And out of nowhere, the car just died.
And there is Mark Webber. Poor old Mark Webber. He had a chance of a podium here.
Gearbox failure. I guess they used an unverified used car. And since finding a good used car isn't exactly an easy path either, today I want to introduce you to Car Vertical, the ultimate service for getting info on used cars. Just by using a car's VIN number, Car Vertical gathers info from over 900 sources across more than 25 countries and turns it into a simple, easy-to-read report. With a Car Vertical report, you can check if a car has had accidents, if the mileage adds up, whether it was ever stolen, and even what equipment it originally came with. Sometimes you'll even get photos of the car after an accident. Here's a real example. The car might look perfect now, but the report clearly shows past damage, mileage issues, and accident photos. Details a seller usually won't tell you. And the best part, if your report comes back clean with no findings, Car Vertical automatically refunds your credits, so there's zero risk. So before you buy a used car and get an unpleasant surprise later, make sure you check it first. The link's in the description and pin comment, and the discount is applied automatically. Back to the video. When Shotzi says, watch this double,
Invasion! And it's another round!
and yeah, there've been drivers who've done doubles.
Alex Albon, and he is fighting his way past the RB, fighting his way past.
But none like Sebastian Buemi. See, it was 2010 in Shanghai, a city that's way more than bubble tea.
Bubble tea. And then? Bubble tea.
Calm, above all, not a city that expects explosions. Not until that Friday, on the 16th of April. With about 15 minutes left in FP1, the Swiss driver was approaching turn 14, getting ready for the heavy braking. Except... Scary, huh? Both front wheels came off at the exact same time. That's not okay. If a suspension failure happens, it's usually a single link, meaning the driver still has a wheel or at least something left to work with. So, what caused it? Alright, to understand it, we have to go back to day one. The STR5 was Toro Rosso's first car designed and built in-house in Faenza. Result?
Hello, that's Alguersuari. Buemi is out there for Toro Rosso.
So in one of those weight-cutting pushes to get better results in China, they introduced new uprights, a part that, put simply, if it breaks, the wheel can detach, which is exactly what happened. Although, of course, from inside the cockpit, it felt like brake pedal, fume. The difference is, you're not in a cockpit. You can decide calmly, and believe me, there ain't no better decision right now than subscribing to the channel. Okay, lesson learned. Sometimes a car can simply decide it doesn't want wheels anymore. So what's next? Wait, look who it is. The minuscule Yuki Tsunoda. Oh, I miss him already. The Japanese driver has a lot of DNFs in his career.
It's an unlucky one.
The biggest one being this most recent one, although the most random of all happened in the Netherlands in 2022. By lap 43 at Zandvoort, Yuki was doing about as well as that AlphaTauri realistically could, scrapping around P10 trying to steal a point when suddenly he was called into the pits. That sounds normal enough, until it really wasn't.
Tyre is not fitted, tyre is not fitted.
Believe me when I say this, he was fully ready to abandon the car.
Tyre is not fitted.
That's when the pit wall stepped in and basically told Yuki to stop panicking and bring the car back to the pits. Mechanics swapped the tyres and out he went again, until...
Something wrong, something strange in the rear, something wrong.
This time the car was actually cooked. A different failure, according to about half the paddock.
Stop. Stop in a safe place.
The other half genuinely believed the car had been sabotaged during that second stop, which, if you really think about it, is incredibly strange. A car retiring because of something that supposedly happened in the one place where teams are meant to fix the problem that's about to retire you? Yeah, if that sounds familiar, you might want to ask Valtteri.
Okay, thanks.
Monaco 2021. Tight streets, fancy yachts, and a Finn cruising in what should have been a mega day. Anyway, after 31 laps of parade, Mercedes calls Bottas in for a standard tyre change, a routine stop.
Box.
However, things are never that simple.
Or Mercedes, so they brought Hamilton in, and a lap later, in comes Valtteri Bottas, and it's the hard tyre too, but
front's not even off yet.
they can't get the right front off.
The front right tyre just wouldn't come off. The crew worked on it and worked, but the wheel nut decided to machine itself onto the axle.
Effectively, he is now out of this race, was running second, still in the pits. That is it. Over for Valtteri Bottas.
In the end, it took an incredible 43 hours to solve, and Mullet Boy definitely had some things to say.
I couldn't believe, what happened, and still feels strange that the others are racing there and I'm here, but it happened, and it was a big mistake by us as a team.
A lot of words from the Finn, compared to the other one we're used to.
Hello.
But back in the day, he left an unforgettable impression on people. Dude was crushing it. He had everything to be one of the greatest alongside Michael Schumacher, except, well, the car.
Possibly engine related. Line of the San Marino Grand Prix, and it looks to me as though Kimi Raikkonen's got a problem. Sorry to interrupt you, but look at that. I think
McLaren unreliably screwed up Kimi's title hopes big time, but Nürburgring 2005 was something different. See, for some reason, and no one knows why, the FIA decided that in the 05 season you couldn't just pit for fresh tyres because you felt like it. Now that you know this, let's get into the race.
is go! Great start by Raikkonen. The two Williams not great again.
This was Kimi at his absolute peak. Insanely fast, totally locked in. He was leading, controlling the pace, and it felt like one of those Sundays where you're already mentally photoshopping the podium picture in your head. Final laps, Kimi was still leading. Then near the end, you could see how the right side of the suspension was shaking. And eventually, under braking, the vibrations finally won.
He just misses the VAR. I said he should have pitted. I told you he would have got a podium if he pitted, instead of which he's going to get absolutely nothing.
As simple as that. Gravel, silence, retirement. For the fans, more heartbreaking than Brad Pitt and Jennifer Aniston breaking up. For Kimi?
No, we took the risk and we wanted to win the race, but unfortunately it didn't pay off.
Classic Iceman.
Hey. What?
If you think being betrayed by destiny is rough, wait till you see how Ferrari f***ed it up again. And of course, it had to happen at home, because where else would Tifosi pain feel more personal? Like usual, Monza was packed. Red everywhere, noise everywhere. Those years when Il Cavallino Rampante meant something more than depression. Oh boy. In the past, optimism was actually justified, and for the 1995 race, Gerhard Berger and John Alesi were on the run for greatness. Lap 23 and Schumacher and Hill, the title contenders, collided.
Oh, and Hill hits Schumacher, they both go off! They both go off! This is a repetition of Silverstone!
Everything felt just scripted for Ferrari to win with a double podium at home. Both cars had strong pace, everything looked under control. By lap 30, they were already 1-2. But then, naturally, reality showed up, only 2 laps later.
And there is, off goes the Ferrari, and that is Gerhard Berger.
The front suspension snaps. Berger's car is done, but everyone's confused. What happened? The onboard TV camera mounted on Alesi's rear wing broke loose, bounced onto the racing line, and smashed straight into Berger's car. But wait, the story isn't over yet. Not long after that, Alesi, now leading, also retires.
We all stand his flames out of the back. There is indeed a problem with the Ferrari there of Jean Alesi.
Last race for Ferrari is coming to the pits as Alesi struggles with whatever the problem is in the pits.
Wheel bearing issue. Some flames flames in the rear tyre, so within a few laps, Ferrari went from dream scenario to calamita. Accidents are unusual, but your own car smoking you out like a cheap nightclub, that's even weirder. Back in 2004 at Silverstone, Olivia Panis wasn't having a great race. No fight for points or even with another driver. 17 laps in of pure boringness. And then, out of absolutely nowhere, everything just turned white. The fireproof foam that was insulating the drink bottle exploded, and thick white foam filled the cockpit instantly. The visor was covered. Race over. So far, we've lost races to cars, systems, and bad luck. Although there are other cases where the story has been more plural, let's say. I'm gonna ask you a question. What do Italy, Brazil, and Qatar have in common? If you say Esteban Ocon committing war crimes, I'll say yeah, you're right. But also that all three countries have hosted a Football World Cup. Now you're probably thinking, alright, whatever, why should I care? Well, funnily enough, this last World Cup wasn't held in June or July like usual. It happened in November and December. Why? The heat. The kind of heat that during the other 10 months of the year casually reaches 40 to 42 degrees, sometimes more. You know, human melting temperatures. So logically you just say, cool, put the race in November or December, right? Anyways, as always, the show must go on, so armed with nothing but blind faith, we arrive in Lusail. From the very start, everything felt off. The air was thick, the humidity was brutal, and the circuit basically turned into a giant sauna with floodlights. During the race, the pace stayed high, but the human side of things clearly didn't. And that's when Sargent comes into the story, or more accurately, where he disappears from it.
Don't feel well, man.
Are you retiring, mate? Are you retiring?
Dude was already dealing with flu-like symptoms, and then you add extreme dehydration on top of that.
Yeah, I need some.
I'm so
sorry, man.
It's fine. It's fine. Ah! It's okay. It's okay.
Having come out of the pits, this is Logan Sargent.
You can see him dripping from his race suit.
But the crazy part is, he wasn't even the only one struggling. Ocon literally threw up inside his helmet mid-race. Bro, imagine that smell.
Honestly, yeah, I felt ill by lap 15, 16. You know, I was throwing up in the car, and I've managed to calm down afterwards.
And once the race finally ended, several drivers could barely climb out of their cars.
The adrenaline as well, right? When you're in a Grand Prix car, I don't know if you get adrenaline when you're running the track, but in a Grand Prix car, the adrenaline is pumping, and now as it starts to go down, the physical...
At that point, it stopped looking like racing and started looking like a medical drill. The race meant more than just one DNF. This whole weekend did break their bodies. But other times, it's your brain that checks out first. Let's talk about a race where the only real enemy was confidence. So we're in Canada, 1991, at the circuit in Montreal. A normal day with a grid full of talented drivers. Among those, there's the Red 5, sitting in second place for the start, looking to break Senna's streak of 4 races won. And Mansell does everything absolutely right from the start.
Round 5, Formula 1 World Championship. I think we got it. The drivers seem to think so. They are away.
He overtakes Patrese and takes the lead on the first turn. Then lap after lap, he is absolutely cruising. The car is untouchable, the lead is massive, and the pace is so comfortable it feels like he's already mentally in the cooldown lap. Behind him is Nelson Piquet, technically second, but honestly there to just exist. The race win was sealed. Until, of course, the final lap. The crowd is already on its feet. Mansell knows it, so what does he do? He slows down, then waves. Then he slows down even more.
Stop. He has stopped. Nigel Mansell is beating on the car. Could this be?
And when the revs drop too low, the clutch disengages, the engine cuts, and suddenly 68 laps of lead down the drain. The car stalls, just when he needed it the most. Meanwhile, Piquet, who was likely already settling down for P2, casually drives past and wins.
We'll see Nigel Mansell there by the side of the road.
Just like that, his final victory at the top tier of racing. This shows us that sometimes nothing fails. The car is great, the team makes every call, and strategists don't mess up. The brain did. And that's the funniest part about F1. It can be the most advanced sport on the earth and still collapse in the dumbest, most unexpected ways in front of millions of people. If you enjoyed this video, I recommend you watch this one. And as always, thank you for watching.